One Saturday morning, Amy and her sister, Stella, took a long walk to collect some scraps of wood as fuel for heating their family's home. As they were returning, Stella collapsed from the lingering effects of cholera and was unable to proceed. Amy, who was 6 years old, was helpless. They sat beside the roadside, not knowing what to do. Finally, Stella spoke. "You know, Amy, a while ago, Mother told us that if we ever got into trouble, or we need help, we should pray. And God will help us. Now, help me get down on my knees, hold me up, and we will pray." So on the sidewalk, the two sisters prayed earnestly to God for someone to help them. After that, they resumed sitting on the curb waiting to see how God would answer their prayers. Far down the street, they spotted a man who walked out of the factory. Looking curiously up the street, the girls thought perhaps he was the one God would send. But the man went back into the factory. Presently, he came out again, and looked up the street again, and re-entered the factory. So, the man came out of the factory, the third time, wearing his hat, and walking towards them. When he got where the children were, he asked, "What is the matter?" When the girls explained the situation to him, the man hoisted Stella up in his brawny arms, and carried her home. Once the girls were safely delivered, the man told his story. He was the owner of the factory, and was working hard on the payroll checks for his workers. Suddenly, as he was looking over his books, his eyes were clouded up, and his vision had been blurred. He had a plain impression that someone on the street wanted to see him. So he stepped outside trying to focus his eyes up and down the street, if he could see anyone. But seeing no one, he returned to his desk. But the darkness in his vision was even worse, and the impression was even greater. So he walked outside again, puzzled. Then he returned to his work again, but his fingers would not grasp the pen. He found himself unable to write a word. Moreover, the impression on his mind was urgent. So, he fetched his hat, and walked up the street, in bewilderment until he saw the girls, who prayed earnestly for someone to come along and help them. That was how God answered the girls' prayers, because they called on him and also believed in him.